So when I was a little, I really wanted to become a chemist. So I watched television where they do some interesting materials, and I always like experimenting different things. Unfortunately, I didn't have a chemistry set, but with all kinds of things. So my mother really encouraged me to try and do some crazy stuff also at home. And later on, when I was going in high school, I noticed that I really like mathematics and calculus. So actually I ended up kind of combining these two, and then I studied applied physics at the university. My family hasn't been well educated, so my mother and father had really basic degrees, and I really liked the Finnish system. So even though you wouldn't have academic background from your family, you can go for the academic career. And there's very good opportunities to study in Finland. And actually my mother, who was also very talented in calculus, studied in her adult age, now that it was possible, a degree in economics. Currently I'm a professor in materials engineering, and at the moment I'm developing a bachelor program and master program in materials science and engineering. And scientifically, I'm working on photovoltaics. Many people are working on how to make emerging photovoltaics more efficient, but actually the key issue at the moment is making them more stable, because that's preventing many technologies to commercially take off. So the aging questions that I work on are very challenging, and actually that's one of the reasons why I'm here now, because I haven't shied away from difficult questions. And many funding agencies really like high-risk, high-gain research. And that is something that I would also like other women to boldly take on. So dare to take risks. I would like to make the solar cells more long-lasting so that they would be commercially viable. And what we also need to take a look at is that they would, because it's much harder at this point to increase the efficiency of those devices. There's a limit that we cannot really exceed. Whereas with the lifetime of the device, we can increase that theoretically many-fold and get many-fold more energy. The other thing that we need to also look at is what do we do at the end of the device lifetime. So are the materials chosen so that we can actually recycle the devices? And if we cannot replace all critical materials, can we harvest them back to reuse? One issue is with sustainability is that we don't only need to look at the critical materials that we need to harness back to reuse, but actually all the surrounding materials around the critical material define, can we actually recycle that and reuse that material? So we're tackling with very tricky and complex questions, but we need to take them on in order to reach real sustainability also for renewable technologies. I would say that combining family and work life is always a bit of a challenge. But I think also that in this Finnish system we do have a good possibility also to be on maternity leave and also raise own family. And I can also tell that I was very happy when I applied for this position, so I basically was hired almost directly from my maternity leave. So I was still on the maternity leave when I applied for this current position. So also the employers are looking more graciously towards women and family, and that's very important. And also I have benefited from the fact that I've had superiors who have been encouraging me to go forward with my career. And sometimes I've also seen that it's not always easy for the women scientists to be noticed, but there have been also good male superiors who have been supporting towards women and have taken us also seriously. What I would like to tell to other women scientists and those who would like to become female scientists is that believe in yourself And also those near women scientists, do encourage the female scientist in your life. That can really make a large difference.
My dream was to become a doctor, but I wanted specifically to be a brain surgeon. I don't know exactly why, but as a child I somehow thought this would be cool and I would be saving a lot of people's lives.
When I was a child, I probably didn't much think about what I'm going to be, or maybe I thought of everything. I have been always interested in on many things. I asked this about from my older sister. She's 6 years older than I am. Then she said that when I was 5, 6, or even younger, I had some imaginary pets. Our parents didn't allow the pets at that time, but yeah, I had imaginary ones. And she said that probably you were thinking that you could be like a veterinary or maybe a medical doctor.
When I was a small kid, I was a big fan of UFOs and wanted to become a space scientist. But at 14 years old, I changed my mind after I learned to write the first line of code on the computer. That was in the middle of 1990s, when personal computers and the internet were still something new to most people in China. I was so curious about the possibilities to change the world using computer technologies and decided to study and then later work in this field.
When I was a child, I wanted to become somebody that slides the hills down with this liukuri. I grew up in a farm in Rovaniemi at the Arctic Circle, and I remember playing out with my friends in the snow.
As an engineer, my career has been very varied. In the past years, I've held leadership positions running both companies and businesses. And today, I'm leading Business Finland, a government organization supporting companies to grow and renew themselves. A very inspiring and rewarding job.
I'm a professor. I'm doing the professor work. I have worked in the technology and I have never had any problems with that I'm a lady and I'm a female in the technological side.
Since 2016, I have been an assistant professor at Department of Communications and Networking at Aalto University. Nowadays, I lead a multidisciplinary research group that works on emerging mobile computing systems and applications.
In my current role here at the University of Oulu, I'm the research coordinator of 6G flagship, and we are developing the wireless solutions for the next decade, 2030.
I'm working with the basic science and then also with the applied science, and I like both of those ones. And I think both of those ones can make a benefit. However, being person like me and having the interest in the technological side, I'm probably favoring a bit the applied science side, and examples what I can give you is that we have made the small scaffolds that can be used with the arthritic patients, and they can benefit that their joints will be working better and they can have the better quality of life.
I have always been passionate about solving real-life problems through technological innovation. For example, our group is currently building a personalized virtual stroke rehabilitation solution in the Business Finland project. We built our solution on advanced artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and smart textile research. With our solutions, stroke survivors are expected to recover faster and better. We are also working on edge computing, a key technology of 5G networks for autonomous and cooperative driving.
I want to change the world through the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. We made a white paper on 6G and the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and realized that the impact of ICT in their achievement is huge. And you can be part of that too.
I really believe science and technology are essential in saving the world. As we all know, we are in now to save the world from climate change. And in this fight to tackle the climate change, technology is part of the solution, not part of the problem. Our role is to identify the opportunities and match those with the existing technologies and solutions in Finland. Another example could be the current pandemic we are living in, because with the technology we can find remedies, we can find vaccines, we can find medications. All of these are things that can help us survive this pandemic era. And I want to make sure that we in Finland are able to use our strengths and to bring the best solutions forward to save the world.